The first day of practice, tryouts, whatever you call them, and he sent out all those emails, did everything, so thank you, Kevin, that helped tremendously. Also, I want to thank JD. JD helped, and Johnny helped us coach, but Johnny wasn't there for most of the season. But anyways, and then I also want to thank you, parents. Thank you for getting your kids to practice on time. Thank you for driving up to Indy. I know when we played in that tournament, you all had to drive back and forth, and I live 2 minutes away, so I'm sorry about that. Anyways, and then thank you, kids, for playing for me. It was fun. We all had fun. JD and I definitely talked about you almost every day. I'd be sitting in class, and I'd be going over my psychology homework, and I'd be thinking about cognitive psychology, then I'd be like, oh, who do I want to start today? Who do I want to start today? Like, do I want to run a new offense today in practice? So it was fun. I thought about you guys all the time, so it was fun coaching you guys. It was definitely a great experience, and hopefully I can do it next year if you guys let me. With that, we're going to give out some awards for our players.
Nice hair! Love your hair!
It's not a mullet. It's not
Love your hair.
Nice hair! Nice hair!
It's slick back, guys. If you haven't seen it, it's slick back for the first time in Friday. Alright. With our first award, let's invite up Ben Plisky. Ben, he's right here.
I love that.
Ben was definitely our best player with the ball. He definitely took charge of the game, definitely our strong point guard. Every time we needed someone to get the ball down, Ben could get it down. I remember we were running our press offense for the first time, and Ben goes to me and goes, Coach, if I can just dribble it down by myself, is that cool? I go, yeah, well, look to run the play to get the ball down, but if you can't get it down, just do that. And literally first play, gets the ball, goes sideline, goes down, goes, what about that, Coach? I go, you can do that every time, that works, and you don't have to run the play at all. And then for offense, Ben, we had, two offensive plays the whole year? Two offensive plays the whole year. Ben definitely kept us in charge, kept us in line, kept the offense going, and like Ben does, and like John Stockton does, they controlled our team. So Ben Plisky gets the John Stockton Award. Don't go anywhere yet. Also, we do the Most Inspirational Award. So, Ben Plisky, definitely a person on our team that got the troops together. He got us all fired up, wanted us to do really well. He would come up to me and go, Coach, what about we run a play today? And I'd be like, I don't think we can run the play that we ran all year, so how about we just stick to maybe the play we've done all year? And he's just like, yeah, but I want to do something different. So Ben was definitely one that was looking for something else to do. He wanted the team to succeed. He definitely would just get our team pumped up, inspired to play, and definitely a big part about how we succeeded this year. So thank you, Ben. Most inspirational. Next up is David Johnson. Alright, David, he was a character. We'll just put it at that. David showed up to every practice, every game, always had a smile on his face. You never saw David in a bad mood. And aside from always having a smile on his face, David always had a basketball in his hand. We'd be in practice, and I'd be coaching 5 players, and there'd be 5 or 6 on the sidelines. And you just saw David run over to a basketball and start dribbling it through his legs, acting like he was shooting on the goal. And he was just a very fun player to coach. He just was always in a good mood, never down, always wanted the ball, always wanted to shoot, just someone that you just love to coach. And for David, he was got our Reggie Miller Award, and for our Reggie Miller Award, it was our most committed player because David always wanted to be there, always was in a good mood, always just wanted to be there for the team and would do everything for the team. And thank you for that, David. So David gets the Reggie Miller Award. All right, and with the Reggie Miller Award, David, as I told you, he always had a basketball in his hand. Always the person out there who just wanted to improve on his game. Always wanted to get better. Always wanted to do something to help the team out. And he was just a very big part of our team. And I remember we had one game where we had 4 players in the first half of our game, and we were playing, I don't know, St. Rock, was it? Was it St. Rock? You think so? Okay. All right, we were playing St. Rock, and David's sitting in the corner, and he scores 6 points just out of nowhere. And I'm just like, David, we're just gonna throw the ball to you, and you're just gonna score the rest of the points the rest of the season. Definitely a very fun player to coach, fun to be around. So David Johnson gets the I Love This Game Award. Next up, we have Matthew Kawanishi. Matthew was also a very fun player to coach. Matthew always knew what he was doing. Best part about Matthew was we would put him in to different positions, and he always worked out for us. He always was a person that we could just plug into a position, and he'd always do well. And I remember one time I forget who we were playing, but I told Matthew was in the game with Ben, and I go, Matthew, you just want to, because Ben usually handled the point. I go, Matthew, when I handle the point, he goes, Coach, like, I mean, I can, but, like, Ben could do it, too. And I was just like, so it was really funny. So, but Matthew definitely did a good job with us. At the end of the year, really improved, definitely a big part in our success this season. So, Matthew, for being that player that we could always just plug in, and he just would always do well. Matthew Kawanishi, you get the Will Sheehy Award. Next up, we have Elijah League. But anyways, Christian, I remember JD and I joked one time on the bench where we said, we don't really want Christian to go in the game because we like talking to him too much. So Christian was always that person that every time, because we had, 10 or 11 players, so we'd always have to sit him for a whole quarter, and I will tell you, that quarter, I'm sorry whoever was on the court in the talks and stuff, but Christian, on the other hand, definitely a very, very good person, has great character, good social skills, but on the basketball side, he produced for us. Christian was always a consistent player, always there to make a shot, definitely had a good-looking shot, and as he would say, was wet. Not all the time, but most of the time. But Christian was definitely a good player on our team, contributed a lot to our success, and that's just on the offense. On defense, we could put Christian down low, and he could go up against the best of them, and he could stop them. I remember in our second to last game, they ran some play to their strong side, and Christian just shut him down. And our biggest part about Christian was he could block the ball like none other. I didn't know going into the season if you would say that Christian was our best shot blocker. You would have had me at ease. But Christian, definitely our best defensive player of the year and our best shot blocker. So you get the Dikembe Mutombo Award. Alright, next up, Tice Fumba. Alright, don't look at it. Alright, Tice was a very fun person to coach. He was there for every practice, every game, always had a smile on his face, a goofy smile on his face. But he was definitely there for the team. Definitely a person that you could count on to get the job done. He was just someone that if we called a play, he would know the play before we even got down there, and he would set that pick or roll off or shoot the ball. He knew what he was doing, which was awesome for a coach because you like someone who can just always just know what they're doing on the floor and always produce for you. So Tice was very good at that. But parents' tendency is our practices, and in our practices we kind of ran a lot, didn't we, guys? So Tice, I remember first or second week of our practices, Tice, we were missing free throws, and Tice gets up there and goes, I go, if you miss this, Tice, you all are running. And he goes, I'm just going to miss it on purpose because I like running. So JD goes, he misses the shot on purpose. JD calls him over and goes, Tice, come here. He goes, for missing that, you have to do 25 push-ups. And I never felt so bad for a person in my life because by 10 push-ups, this kid was dying. And it was, so from then on, Tice never missed a shot when we told him that he was going to run. So he was definitely a person that had a lot of energy, brought a lot of energy to our team, definitely helped us out tremendously with our success. And Tice, for everything you did, you get the Energizer Bunny Award. Next up, we have Mitchell Crouch. What happened to your head? Good one. Alright. Anyways, Mitchell showed up our team about quarter of the way into the season, and he, from day one, helped us out. He definitely a tall and lengthy person that could get in there. So Mitch, definitely by the start of the season we had to work with him, but once about a week into practicing and getting into the groove of the game and stuff, Mitch was spot on with everybody else. So he definitely caught on to the game very fast, which was big relief for JD and I coaching him, because we could plug him in. He always knew what he was doing. We could say, Mitch, go get a rebound. He'd get a rebound. Mitch, get on the floor. He'd get on the floor. And he always, I remember, I think it was our St. Rock game where we had like 4 people. I remember Mitch comes up and goes, Coach, I know we have 4 people, but I'm jacked up. And I was like, that's good because you need to be. So it was definitely, Mitch was definitely a fun person to coach and stuff, and definitely a big part of our success at the end of the season. I remember our second to last game, I emphasized, as you guys would know, I emphasized blocking out like none other. And anyways, Mitch definitely took that to heart, and he went after every ball. He was definitely key in our success this year. And like a fellow Indiana Pacer, CYO T, definitely goes for everything, gives his heart into the game, and he was definitely there for us the whole season we had with him. So Mitch, you get the CYO T award. Next up, we have Jack Foster. Now, Jack was a lot like me when I was little. I was stuck between soccer and basketball. And thankfully for Jack, he gave basketball a tryout this year. And Jack definitely did a whole 360 from where he was at the beginning of the season. Beginning of the season, I remember Mrs. Foster came up to me at Goodwill when I think JD and I were shopping for a party theme that night. But anyways, she goes, Jack's doing a really great job. He's really liking the game. This is his first year playing basketball. I go, is it really his first year playing basketball? And he goes, yeah. He goes, he's been playing soccer. I go, he's just like me. And anyway, so Jack definitely a key part to our team. Always always in a good mood, always had a smile on his face. Jack was just one of those players that was just very fun to coach. He always was just in a good mood. I remember one time during a game, it was really funny because I'd be like, Jack, I think it was the start of the third quarter, and I go, Jack, you're in. You go, wait, coach, me? And I was like, yes, get in there. So he was definitely a fun person to coach, definitely a fun person to play with or have on our team. And he definitely was our most improved player because he took, from where you saw him at the beginning of the season to where he was, he went tremendously up in his game. And Jack Foster, you get the most improved player award, so thank you, Jack.
Ben Hobson.
Come here, Ben. Ben was a tall kid. Anyways, Ben was one of those players that he was probably the most unselfish player on our team. Ben would always, when he ever got a rebound, the first thing he did was pass it back out. And JD and I would literally we probably told you thousand and one times, just go back up with it, man. Just go back up with it. You can score. He would literally pass it out, and not to him not wanting to go back up with it. He just was always an unselfish player who would always look for his teammates and wanted the better of the team. And we told him, Ben, if you just go back up with it, you'll have 20 points a game. But you were definitely one of those players that would definitely an unselfish player. But aside from that, Ben I remember I told all of our players one day that if a ball gets on the floor, you're all jumping on the floor. I don't even care if you're at the 3-point line and the ball's at the end line. You're jumping on the floor. Well, Ben took that to heart. So anytime there was a ball on the floor, you always saw Ben Hobson on the floor for that ball. Ben always was one of those people that didn't care to get his nose dirty. He always was on the floor, always fight for an extra ball, extra possession. And definitely one of those players that you love to have on your team because you know he will do anything like jumping on the floor to get the ball for your team to help better the team, get your team an extra possession. And aside from that, I remember in our, I forget what it was, our third to last game? I keep saying second, but I think it was our third to last game. We were playing St. Simon and Ben fouled out with like 3 or 4 minutes left in the game. And I just come over, you looked upset, I'm sorry, you just looked down in the dumps, and I come over you with a smile on my face, I go, man, you're the first one this year to foul out. I'm so happy. And he just gave me a little high five. And Ben, you definitely were just one of those players that a coach loves to coach. You just would get on the floor, never gave it but your all. So Ben, you get the Bulldog Award for our best and most efforts award. All right, next up we have Jacob Pettinger. You're brown eating? I'm sorry. Anyways, Jacob was a very fun player to coach. He always, if you guys didn't notice, he always sat by me on the bench and would just be like, all right, Austin, I think they're doing this. And I'm just like, all right. I'm not even saying it, but I'm just going to say yes because I don't want to look like an idiot. But anyways, Jacob for us on the offensive side, he produced, and at the beginning of the season, you could tell this kid loved shooting the ball, loved having a ball in his hand, loved shooting the ball, and keep saying Ben, sorry, Jacob. Anyways, Jacob definitely was just one of those players that loved the game. He loved every aspect, the shooting, the dribbling. He was one of those players that on the defensive side just always knew what he was doing. Like, there would be some times where I wouldn't even see anything, and like I said, Jacob would be like, Coach, they're doing this, like, I'm guarding it, and I'm like, all right, just keep doing that because I'm not seeing it. And he was definitely a very fun player to coach and made my coaching job a lot easier. And for most part, on the offensive side, Jacob he was, if you came and watched our games, he could not miss from the three-point line. And this kid, like Jordy Holes, was just money. Every time he got the ball in his hand, he was wide open. You could bet your bottom dollar that ball was going in the hole. So for being a strong player and a good three-point shooter on our team and our best shooter overall, Jacob Hedinger, you get the Jordy Holes Award. Alright, last but not least, Ian Gonzalez. Ian was probably the most fun player to coach because he always knew what he was doing, but he didn't know if he should do it. If you know what I mean. He always knew he'd have to set the pick there, but he'd always like look over and be like, "Coach, it's right here, right?" And I'm just like, "Yeah, you're in the right spot. Just do it." And Ian definitely a very crucial member of our success this year. He always came to practice, always came to our games. He was definitely there for the team, always doing whatever he could to help our team with our success. And I remember in one practice, Ian comes up to me and goes, "Coach, I don't know if I can practice that much today because like my foot or my knee hurts." And I'm like, "All right, you just tell me what, like, if you want to go out or something." And so me being the caring coach I am and was, I was like, "All right, Ian, you can stay out for these for this little repetition." He goes, "Well, Coach, why can't I go back in?" I go, "Well, I thought you were hurt." He was just like, so he always wanted to be on the court, and when he was, he produced. He was definitely had a very good basketball IQ of what to do on the floor, and that was just on the offensive side. On the defensive side, we tried to get him a little physical than he could, but he definitely helped us out, and in a tremendous way, he helped us out rebounding. Gian was our best rebounder, and for being our best rebounder, Gian, you get the Windex Man Award. So thank you, Gian. Alright, well that does the awards, but one final thing, I want to thank you all for coming out tonight, and like I said, if you would have seen our team at the beginning of the year, JD and I wouldn't have thought we would have gone to the finals this year. So hats off to our players, because it's not about the championship at the end, because we could have that championship or we won it, but the thing is if you don't look at the championship, if you look at the progress of our team, we went from here to here, and that's a hats off to our kids. And thank you guys for letting me be a part. He was our best scorer on the year. Definitely a player that you could just put in there, and he would always produce. Always had a smile on his face. I think the most thing that I thought was I would say not predictable. How would I say this? Thing that made me think the most about was when Elijah. It was at the day after. Had a lot of girl problems this year. We named one of our plays after his girlfriend Emma.
You stand down like a half. was awesome.
Oh, and I'm like waiting and waiting. And I go, are you sure they didn't ask the
Yeah, that's true.
I go, honey,
Hiding. I'm trying to get all the tables.